All right, welcome guys to, God, is this episode 16?
Yeah.
Yeah, we missed a week, right?
God, I haven't drank in a while. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've been drinking the glass bottles. Sorry to cut you off, but
No.
I've been drinking the glass bottles. The cans are not as good.
Not nearly as good. So I think we've brought that up before, but with Topo Chico, which, you know, we're adamant fans of, the glass bottle is so much more like the actual mineral water. It's just like fresher. That's such a loose term, but it's like just easier on the palate.
Yeah.
Not as syrupy, I think is what you said. The cans are kind of syrupy.
Yeah, it's definitely got that flavor to it. It's not bad, but I've just been so conditioned,
Yeah.
you know, to the flavor of the glass bottles.
Yeah.
I'm a changed man.
It's like the difference of straight tap water and letting it run through the Brita filter first, you know? It's like
Yeah.
a whole different game there.
What do you think would happen if you like just tried to distill this? Or not, well, I mean, like filter it, you know?
Oh, like Phil.
See, have you ever heard of that? Like, you
Yeah.
can distill vodka more by putting it through a Brita?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's interesting. I didn't know that, but with Topo Chico, I feel like it would be difficult because it is technically like, I think, a mineral water. Like there's, you know, minerals are what give water its flavor.
Yeah.
And you would be taking out a lot of that, so it probably also just the flavor additives that would be taken out.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't be a positive thing.
Yeah.
I was just like, what do you think it would taste like?
Just like a subdued version of what it already is.
Yeah.
We should fill up a Brita
It'd be like
with Chico.
It'd be like, hell yeah.
Just so you want some water?
We just have a Chico Brita and a water Brita.
Yeah.
That'd be so nice, though. We'd like just take the filter out, just fill the
Yeah.
Brita with Chico, and you can just boop,
You know, I was thinking about
Brita
this
on
too.
tap.
Once we get our place, I want to get like some kind of themed mini fridge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one for like, I don't know, G Fuel, or even there might be. Google has the answers, but if there's like a Topo Chico fridge,
We could just make one.
yeah, we could make one. But
Get one with the
yeah.
glass front, and then just, you know, put like a vinyl on the front or something.
You're right. Yeah,
Just make our own custom one.
I feel like it's
The
just
only
cool.
thing with mini fridges is that fridges are like a major appliance and they take a lot of energy. So having a mini fridge is basically like just having another fridge.
Right.
So it's gonna
yeah.
the electricity is gonna be more expensive. It's not
Yeah.
too bad, but
It's kind of the. It's
just
a
something-
luxury. It's a
something
total
to think
luxury.
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bryce has a mini fridge though.
What kind?
Just I think it's a regular one. I've never
Okay.
seen it. I just noticed when he's on stream, he'll get up. He doesn't go out of his room to get a beer. He's got a little mini fridge in his room.
You know, and you might be more informed of this thing because you've been playing that app game thing where you like watch the ads and
Public clearinghouse.
Public Clearinghouse, because I saw it was sponsored on YouTube. The guy had like 200 views on the video. It had been up a day, but he's talking about how he's like, yeah, you just fill out this survey and you get a free like Monster Energy mini fridge or whatever. And all these people in the comments, of course, like, oh yeah, I did the survey and man, this fridge is so sweet, but it's like easy bought, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know sometimes they do that, but like a mini fridge, that seems a little like much.
Yeah, like
You know,
that's definitely
It's probably you fill out the survey and you have a chance to get the mini fridge.
right. That would make sense. Yeah, you go into a pool.
I mean, you think like that gets it's a sponsored ad, or there's the limited supply. Like
Yeah.
first 50 people to do the survey get the mini fridge, and then everybody else gets a hat.
Right.
or something.
It's like the oh you get the hat. Oh, sweet. But it's like I always wonder what happens because I've never done it, but you always see the ads, the Mr. Beast. Everyone that clicks this link gets $700.
Yeah.
That can't be real.
I mean, if it's Mr. Beast, I think it is, because he definitely be giving money away.
I'm saying you think we could just go on YouTube, click the link, do a little something and get $700 just like that?
Yeah, but like, you know, it's a limited supply. And you got to do it
okay.
within a certain amount of time. Like, I know he just did something where he was selling something where he said like, for the first 24 hours or whatever that this is live, everybody that orders one gets it for free. And then the next day he was like, wow, I really shouldn't have done that. It's like, I'm out like $1 million.
Wow.
I mean, he's got such a platform and doing something like that. But that, that's his whole thing.
Yeah.
He started with just like getting high dollar sponsorships and then giving all that money away,
Yeah.
get like a huge sponsorship for a project. And the whole project was, I'm going to give the sponsor money away.
That's pretty
And
smart.
that built his platform. And he did crazy stuff like, I think he said like PewDiePie like 1 million times or something.
Yeah.
It's just like a 17-hour stream of him sitting at a computer doing nothing but saying PewDiePie.
Wow.
Yeah.
But-
He really put it in, and he used to do all those challenges like trying to spend 24 hours underwater, where he went underwater with like a little closed lid so his head was out of the water.
Yeah.
And he would try to stay in there for 24 hours. Or like solitary confinement, or like last one to leave the circle, and it goes for like days.
Yeah. No, that's pretty mentally
Yeah.
challenging stuff. I mean, the kind of back onto the sponsored thing, but I think the closest I had ever personally gotten was I had a legitimate, like, from Dr. Pepper, like a Dr. Pepper mountain bike that had a custom wrap of Dr. Pepper. It was a really nice mountain bike. It was like a 24 gear that I got for free. But it was in California, like this pita place. Like, like pita sandwiches and pita wraps and stuff. And a little small one next to a frozen yogurt spot. I'd go with my mom, and it was one of those things where it's like with each order, you'd write down your name and put it in a jar. And there's a lot in there, but the dude that owned the place definitely had a crush on my mom, I think, like pretty hard, because it was like the next day before the drawing's up. Oh yeah, I did it a little early. Looks like Joey won, Like a little sappy won the Dr. Pepper bike. So cool. Got a bike.
Got a free bike. I don't think I've ever won anything like that.
No? Mm-mm. Wish I still had it, dude. I brought it here to Arizona, and the monsoon hit, and I left it outside. All the Dr. Pepper vinyl came off. It rusted.
I'll do that, man. Especially in monsoon season, water, and then the heat and humidity the next day.
Yeah.
You can't have nice things outside.
You've never won like a sweepstakes or anything?
I don't think so. I mean, the only thing I could maybe think of, and I don't know if I won it or my parents took me to it, but do you remember like Radio Disney?
Vaguely, yeah.
They used to do those things where it was like, oh, sign up and you can, win tickets to go see like the Radio Disney concert that they would put on in like an auditorium for kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And I went to one of those. It's actually where like they came out on the stage with those little shoes that you click them and the rollerblades come out. And that's when I started getting into Heelys.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Mom, I want those. I never got the ones with the double wheels that you could just skate around on, but Heelys were sick as fuck, dude.
Yeah, they need to come back.
I think they are. I think they do. They still make Heelys.
Like, they're probably going to do some designer now, like Balenciaga Heelys. They're like $1,300, and people are going to be skirting them in the airport.
There's Balenciaga Fortnite collaborations, so there's
gotta
gotta
be
true. Like designer Heelys. But that's just, it's so much fun, dude. You go to like a Home Depot or something with the smooth cement floors and you just Heely around the whole fucking thing.
Yeah. And it's a safe place to do it. Like, the people that work at Home Depot don't care. They just see you. They're like, not my department.
Anytime I go to Home Depot and I need to ask somebody a question, I can't find anybody working.
Dude, same here. It's like, why is it... I haven't been here in a minute, but just an example, like a retail store in the mall, like you walk into a Tilly's and it's like, God, you can't even get a minute to breathe. You walk in, can I help you with anything? You need help? Oh, just look. And, oh, yeah, cool. Then the next person, and then the same person comes back 5 minutes later. Hey, bro, everything's still going good. Can I help you find something? I know it's their job.
Yeah.
It's commission. It's not.
It's also like the more social people in retail, like that's a way to kind of like kill boredom,
Oh, okay, yeah.
It, like, especially they'll just walk around if they got to do like their walk, they're just desperately hoping that somebody needs help. I'm the kind of person that'll just go into the back stock room, lay down in one of the shelves and put like a shirt in front of me and just
one of those Japanese, like you rent out those little holes to sleep in, but you just have it at work.
I think I may have told you before, but when I worked at JCPenney's, that's what I would do. If I was like super hungover or something at work, I would climb to the top of them and get on top and like lay down one of the mattress pads or something, and I would just lay up there and take a nap.
That's so nice, dude, because I just remember, like, now that we're adults and much larger and much more obvious we can't do this, but it was like, remember being a little kid? I don't know if you ever did this thing where it's like you're shopping at a store with your mom, you're bored, it's like a clothing store, but you find that low rack of clothes, you go underneath it and behind and kind of like hide and take a nap,
I used to love getting in the racks of clothes, and you know those little plastic clips that they put on clothes.
Yeah.
I would collect those, and like the little needles that hold stuff together.
Yeah.
I would come out and be like, "Mom, look, I got all this stuff," and she's like, "Throw that shit away.
Yeah.
Stop collecting random things."
I don't know. That's a start to a good thing, though, because I even think of just being, when you're forced in a position where you have to be crafty, right? Like, I remember being broke as a teenager. And, you know, I just want enough for a Polar Pop, right? Like, I'm not trying to strike rich. I forgot who told me this, but so you go to, like, is there Stater Brothers out here?
I don't think so.
Like a Bashas'. I've even done it at a Bashas'.
Yeah.
But like any major grocery store that has a Coinstar, coins fall underneath it all the time. You don't really check it. So you get one of those dividers, like on the conveyor belt for like when you're checking out groceries. You take one real quick. You go over to the Coinstar, get on the ground, and you could rake out all the quarters and stuff.
Yep.
I'd find a few bucks that way under a single Coinstar, and they'd be like, "Hey," sometimes like you can't do that, and sometimes they're like, "That's smart." They're like impressed.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, "Hey, no one's taking it," so.
Oh, there's plenty of crafty shit that I think, you know, we would do as kids to just get by.
But imagine us, like two grown-ass men now doing it. They'd be like, "Buddy, come on, get a job."
It's bad now.
Know?
It's one of those things, like, I mean, there's no need to do it for me anymore, but yeah, it's one of those things, like, I would never do something like that because there's just no point, you know? It doesn't look good as a 28-year-old.
I feel like there's one thing we could still do somewhat, but because, like, man, my old coworker Tim, he made a profession out of this because he still does it once a week, but goes dumpster diving and finds like cool shit.
Yeah.
Found like a pair of Ray-Bans last year. Like, he's found a G-Shock watch. He found a Gucci wallet. He had it down to a science. He had a little notepad. It was like really well thought out, where he said he'd go to the dumpsters by like the military base. So obviously not on the base, but kind of the communities around it is where a lot of military families lived off of base, you know?
Yeah.
And he said he would go around and like the week after Valentine's Day, because there would be a lot of like breakups and like girlfriends mad at their husbands or boyfriends, and they'd throw out their like brand new shoes and stuff, or like they had an argument on Valentine's Day and throw out their nice things. So he would go, and he said it was always guaranteed he'd find at least one really cool thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I used to do that with furniture.
Yeah.
I would go, you know, at a time where I was a little less than well off. I would go around and just find furniture, you know, drag it back to the apartment, and clean it up, put it on OfferUp. It's free money.
I mean, you know, I still do to an extent, like, not that I look for it, but like, especially if someone, you know, puts something out front of their house thinking the dump truck will take it or someone will just take it.
Yeah, like a bulk pickup day. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, I see people, like, there's a dude I see constantly with a trailer. Like, he'll come around here. I've seen him in the neighborhoods and stuff. He just drives around on the bulk pickup days in the early morning before the trash comes to get it, and just sees what he can find. You know, he'll load it all up onto the truck and then probably clean it up, refurbish it, and then flip it for money. It's
smart because, yeah, high school and, you know, years after, remember that sectional couch I had in Marley Park? In my room, I had that big 75-inch TV.
Yeah, I remember a couch, but I don't remember it well.
It was a sectional. It was kind of a little beat up, but still in great usable condition. Someone left out in the front of their house, and I took it piece by piece into my room. Had bed bugs, though. I had to Lysol the shit out of it. But the most recent thing was my computer desk chair. My neighbor, I knew, he actually put a chair out. Really nice. It was a leather chair, but it was on hardwood. Like the legs and everything, and the base for it was like solid hardwood. and the leather was kind of cracking and stuff, but I was using like a fold-out chair. So I was like, fuck yeah. And took that back home, and I used it all the way up to the point that I moved out here, where then I, took my stepdad's old chair.
Yeah.
But it was a great chair, dude. For free,
Yeah, with the bed bugs thing, that's why I don't take like couches and beds and stuff. It was more like desks, chairs,
like wood.
Yeah,
because even I'll be real, like an office chair, I cleaned it really good. I got like auto leather detailing wipes and like wiped it down, because a lot happens in those computer chairs.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of bare butt on those.
I was gonna say bare butt, and especially being in Arizona, you find a leather chair. I know how much I've sweat on a leather chair.
Yeah,
I hate leather chairs for that reason though. Like I much prefer the like micro fiber, like the mesh, like the cloth ones that are kind of like they get the. I don't know what the term is, but they're breathable.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like contemporary kind of gaming chairs will use that stuff. Yeah. Like I think
or like the Herman Millers.
Yeah, I was gonna say Omega, and then Herman Miller, dude. Man, like not even the highest end, but I would just love to get. I think it's
Arrow.
Is it the Arrow? Because I know there's the Sail. I think that's one step up.
Yeah,
but the Arrow is the one with like kind of that mesh, futuristic looking background, right?
The Arrow is the really simple one.
Yeah.
The I don't know what the other one is called, but the $1,700 one is the one with like all the things in the back that you can individually adjust and shit, like
to your exact specs.
That's the one I want. $1,700, but they have lifetime warranties. You can literally just, when it starts to wear down, send it back and get a brand new one. It's the only chair you'll ever have to buy.
And I think in this place in life too, you start to understand we spend money on so much stupid stuff we don't really need. To think of like, oh, a $1,700 chair, that's ridiculous. But think of how much of your life is spent in that chair. It's the same with a bed. I used to go cheap with beds, but I'm like, half your life is sleeping. Mm-hmm. Why not invest in a good quality, comfortable bed?
Yeah.
You're in it all the time,
Yeah. And I mean, having a good chair, I need to get a new chair. I mean, having a good chair is important.
Oh, yours is a junker.
Yeah,
right
mine
now
fucking sucks. It was a hand-me-down.
Yeah.
My buddy bought a better chair because this is like a shitty $100 Amazon racing gaming chair, which I hate, by the way. I hate the gaming chairs.
Yeah, same here.
They're so stupid.
Or so gaudy.
I want a nice, clean office chair. Just a simple mesh back, just nothing too crazy. I do like the high back ones where I can like rest my head on, but it's kind of hard to find those. At least like the ones with the like little neck. They got the little neck rest. You can just kind of lean back for a second if you have to.
Mine works that way unintentionally, where it's not perfect, but it was, since my stepdad's 6'5" and like 300 something pounds. It's like a big and tall spec chair where it handles like very overweight individuals too, but to me it's just very cushioned, and I kind of have that extra rest because I'm not that tall, so I can like lean back in it, and
not that tall. We're 6 foot.
Yeah, but I'm not 6'5".
Yeah.
I definitely don't go shopping like, oh man, I need the big and tall version,
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, I've been thinking about buying a new chair.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Hold on. Oh. What happened?
No.
Yeah. All right, well, it wouldn't be the 2D Research Club podcast if something wrong didn't happen. If it was perfect, it wouldn't be right.
We're back with a webcam as our backup because our camera had died. But it's kind of cool to see, we started with something like this, so it's definitely perspective. Like, our setup has gotten way better. It's kind of... This reminds me of... You never really played Dragon Quest, huh?
No, I didn't.
So in the last rendition, I think it was 10. Could be mistaken. It's slipping me. It's like Roman numerals. But anyways, you get an option to go to this alternate plane where you talk to this person and they're like, oh, would you like to, travel within this realm? and you play through the same exact game, but you're in like the pixelated 2D, like the old school original Dragon Quest. I feel like that's what we did. We like chose that option
Yeah.
to step back in time.
Or like the Halo Combat Evolved remaster.
Yeah.
Where you can press the button to go back to the old graphics.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what? I've had enough of these new graphics that they fucked up entirely. I'm just going to go back to the old one.
Yeah.
Did you know, like, that? This is just a tangent now that I'm thinking about it, but the Combat Evolved remaster, like, it was so poorly done that, like, say, like, a tree. In the new graphics, you would try to run past the tree, and you couldn't. You would be blocked by an invisible wall. You'd flip back over to the original graphics, and actually the tree is, like, over more. So they didn't change the actual like framework of the game. They just deleted it and put a new tree there that doesn't actually exist. It still follows the same like walling structure of the original.
Yeah.
It's so fucked.
Yeah, I I didn't play Combat Evolved, I don't believe.
Turn it off. Shut it down.
Dude, to be real, the last Halo I actually played, like I haven't played 5 or 4. I played was it
5 sucks.
ODST?
ODST is fantastic.
That was I loved it.
Yeah.
But that's the last one I played.
It's basically Halo 3 though. The story is different, but like
Yeah.
the game itself is Halo 3 its engine.
It's like the trilogy too, because you go and play missions from Halo 1 and 2.
Do you?
Yeah, that was the whole thing of ODST, is you're kind of in that in-between world where you'd go to missions in the past. So you'd play like Halo 1 missions, Halo 2, and...
No, ODST is it just follows a UNSC Marine that's in Reach, like, post the attack. It's like he's going through the city after the attack.
Okay.
There may have been some, like, extra episodic things that happen in there, but... it's just that it's a small story of a Marine.
I think it was like flashbacks, and you'd play through the
it
level.
could be, yeah.
Something. It's been a while. Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Long time. But
Do you know that they were originally going to call it Recon? And I have the I don't know where the fuck it went, but I had the Game Informer magazine that said Halo Recon. Before
really?
they switched to ODST.
Yeah. Wonder why
Yeah.
they switched it.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea why they switched it, but I used to, because I had a monthly subscription to Game Informer when I was a kid, and I was going through it when I was like getting rid of them. And I think I threw all of them out, but I was like, oh, I meant to keep it. I don't know what I did with it because it is not here. Maybe it's at my mom's house.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my God. I remember getting this issue and being like, oh, new fucking Halo game, and then being disappointed because it wasn't a new Halo game. It was just like
Yeah.
an extra expansion, because you would go into the multiplayer of ODST and it was the same servers for Halo 3.
Yeah.
So if you had Halo 3 and were playing multiplayer, you were playing with the same people on the ODST multiplayer.
Which, yeah, that...
It was just like an expansion.
Yeah, I know it was polarizing. Like, it was loved and hated, not much in between, but I really enjoyed it for what it was, and I played through 3, so...
I just misunderstood what it was.
Yeah.
That's why I was upset. But
Right, thinking it was gonna be like the Halo 4.
yeah,
kind
it
of thing,
was
yeah.
a really cool storyline, though, to kind of see Halo from that perspective.
Yeah.
But I was also like a kid and very obsessed with Halo.
Yeah.
So you couldn't please me with that.
Man, did you ever read the books?
Yeah.
I read through...
There's a fuck ton of them, but I
Not
read
the
3 of them.
entirely. Yeah, I read like 2 or 3. And I lent them to a buddy of mine in school, and I remember I didn't get in trouble. He got in trouble. But his mom like called my mom when they met, had a lunch, and she had gone through the entire book and highlighted every time they said damn or shit.
Yeah.
It's like, can you believe they say damn 35 times, shit 17 times, and you allowed my child to read this? And she was so pissed.
Yeah.
My friend was just crying, I'm sorry, bro, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, it's cool. And my mom was just like, oh, that's not good.
Again, entirely tangential.
Yeah.
But I have 3 things to say, and I'll kind of try to work through them quickly. The first one is I have the Halo books over there, actually.
That's right. I think we stacked them up here, actually, at one point. Yeah.
I looked over there, it just caught my eye. But did you know I actually had 3 individual copies of each one of those books?
What?
Because I wanted one for reading, one to lend out to friends to try to get them into it, and one that I could keep completely pristine. I made my mom
Wow.
buy me 3 over the course of time. Like, I got one and I beat the shit out of it. And then I was like, Mom, I want a new one so I can have like a nice copy to like display, because I fucking loved Halo. And then, what were the other things? There's,
the one to lend out to friends.
yeah, I lent out to friends. But the 2 other things I was going to say, I've told you this, but I don't know if I've talked about it while we're recording, but in like 6th grade, we had that manga club,
Yeah.
that we, I mean, there was nudity in the manga. So they got lent out from this guy that we went to school with. He was like the manga library for us. And we had a list of all of our names of people who were like, okayed into the club and could borrow them and stuff. And one of my teachers found the list and posted it on the wall, and we all had to stay after school and get interviewed and like interrogated about what it was. They were like, "Is this some gang activity?" And we were like, "No, it's just a club of friends." And they were like, "What's the club for? What are you doing? Why do you have the club?" We didn't want to tell them, because if they found the books, we had to like secretly like pull them out of his backpack and into somebody else's backpack, and then they would like on the playground be like, "Hey, I got that next issue for you," and then they would like return the like volume 3 of Inuyasha, and then give volume 4, and then put it in the backpack, go back to the guy and be like, "All right, I got the other copies for you." But we never got caught for that. But my mom also got mad at me. I wrote a short story for Warcraft 3 where I said like "damn" and "hell." I think the phrase was "damn them to hell." And she found it and she sat me down and she was like, "This is really good writing. Like this is a really engaging story, but you can't use language like this." I was like, "The fuck you talking about?"
I imagine you didn't actually say that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
But my mom was very like, up until I was like 21, my mom still didn't want me cursing.
Yeah.
So it was very hard to get around.
Yeah. Okay, 2 tangent things, then we could get to actual
Please, yeah.
story time. This is story time, I mean actual content. But the first thing was, I remember the first like magazine I really collected was Shonen Jump. Because every week, 2 weeks normally, every week or 2, I'd go with my grandfather. It was to Stater Brothers, and they had it in the little magazine section by the checkout. And he couldn't walk too well, so I'd help him get the groceries and stuff, and like put him in his little wheelie cart, Wing, yeah. And as a reward, he'd let me pick out a Shonen Jump, and I always loved getting the Shonen. I would read through it, but the biggest thing was the little Yu-Gi-Oh card that was included. But there were times, man, I would get it, and there was a Yu-Gi-Oh card missing, and I was like, "Fuck, what's the point?" I'm like, "Cool, One Piece," But
Yeah.
I had a stack of those. But the second thing must have not been that important, because I totally forgot about it. But
One more thing before we get into it, then I actually owned the copy of Shonen Jump where it was the father-son Kamehameha in the Cell tournament with Gohan. Those fucking panels in that manga meant so much to me.
Yeah.
These are things I wish I wouldn't have like lost track of, because like that would be so sick to have now. Like I'm not a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, but like that was a pinnacle moment of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, seeing it for the first time,
Yeah, and I had the Shonen Jump copy. I kept it for so fucking long. And then when my mom moved to Colorado and I moved out to Buckeye with my dad and stuff, it's like a lot of stuff got lost or misplaced. I mean, my mom probably still has it, but
is she pretty good of like holding onto your stuff? Yeah.
Oh, she keeps so much shit. But I'm actually going to Colorado next month, so I might look for some of this stuff. But I think we've ranted to the people long enough. We want to talk convention a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk it.
All right. Well, I mean, today's episode is convention themed. Hasn't been at all.
Yeah, now it is.
Yeah. Well, Sabaton's coming up.
Yeah.
We've missed all of them so far because, with the last 2 years being weird, it was kind of hard to remember that like conventions were a thing, you know. But Sabaton is the last one for 2022 that we can go to. Shut the fuck up. It's in September.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go. 100%.
Definitely.
All 3 days. Fuck it. Actually, I think it's 4 days. I think it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Okay.
So we'll see. But
yeah, we'll see. And then TayuCon is coming up 2023 January. So
and then Kikori Con out in Flagstaff, I think is, I mean, I don't know the exact dates. I pulled them up here for 2022.
yeah.
But I don't know if they've been, all of them have been confirmed for 2023. But like a lot of these, like TayuCon happened in January, which that's usual, right?
Yeah.
TayuCon's usually in January. Kikori Con happened in March. Anicon or whatever happened in May. And then the next one is Sabaton. And Comic-Con just ended yesterday.
This is just Arizona, by
Yeah.
the way, for everyone listening, especially different states. But I think Anime Expo, so like AX, is going to be... I'm going to check. I want to say August. Let's see if I'm right. Because I'm pretty sure it's usually July. I feel like it always kind of lands around my birthday.
July 1 through 4th.
So it's still July, yeah. So that's like how Comic-Con San Diego is the international Comic-Con, like AX is the international anime convention where people fly from all over the states and like even different countries at times, and that's like the big boy.
Yeah.
But some really good news. I did a little research and I wanted to get into this, so I looked for, at least if you're in Arizona, Sabaton and TayuCon, and then for AX as well. I believe it was TayuCon that requires, I'm not going to use the big C word, but if for bugs or anything, there's no testing or identification necessary. It's kind of like free reign. It's not going to be as tight. I know for conventions, the past couple of years, it was kind of, you had to go through a lot of hoops and hurdles, and while you're there, there could be so many people. Like there's no cap to how many people can be there now. I think masks are still required for all conventions.
Yeah, I don't know.
To my understanding.
I don't know how Comic-Con, Phoenix Comic-Con happened. Like, I don't know how it was
Yeah.
recently because I didn't get to go. But I would imagine that masks are still kind of required. But it is strange because the only place I've seen masks required is the casino.
Yeah. So the conventions, all conventions still require masks, but there's no testing or any proof of anything required.
Yeah.
Besides AX, given it's so massive.
And international.
Yeah. So the same convention center that hosts AX is the same one that holds E3.
Ooh.
For reference. So I went, so I had gone the past, I think it was 4 or 5 years consecutively up to 2019 was the last year I went, and then everything shut down. 2020 there was nothing. 2021 there was a virtual version, but it was kind of like you showed up and paid and they just donated the money to certain causes with like Asian American Pacific Islanders, which is really cool. But I think as far as like the online panels, like it doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
There's something about being immersing all the cosplayers and everything, but
there is definitely like a light that that glows in your eyes when you go to a convention,
Yeah.
It's like being there around, even for someone like me who hates being around people, it's one of those places where like I'm excited, seeing all the people. I'm like, you want to see me go get fucking hyper. Take me to a convention.
So the good news, kind of what I was getting at, is I think this is going to be the end of this year, and then the convention's coming in 2023 is going to be the first time like people aren't like going in anxiously worrying about any nonsense. It's just going to be comfortable, like just
hopefully
another day, hopefully, yeah. But so far, so good. So stoked for that. We're definitely going to be making the better effort because I personally haven't gone to Sabaton or TayuCon since I lived here previously.
I haven't either. I actually went through a very large period of my life where I wanted nothing to do with the outside world, so I haven't done anything in like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, but we're going to do it up this time. Like I usually go a day. we're going to try to go the full days, maybe get a hotel room one of the nights, you know, have fun with it. Let's talk a little bit about our past experiences, though, at Taiyu and Saboten, at least out here in Phoenix.
Yeah. Did we go to both together? Because the big story, like the very, very memorable story to me, the post-anime depression story, you know, I'll let you tell it, but that was TaiyuCon,
That
right?
was Taiyu. So Saboten, I think I may have gone with other people. I might have gone with you once. I've gone like twice. So maybe one time with you.
I think TaiyuCon, I think I've gone twice to both as well.
Yeah. So we probably went together one time. I think once we found out we were both into it.
Yeah.
The first time we did our own thing, but yeah, TaiyuCon, man, that was an experience.
It's the day I learned that we don't fit in with the cool kids and we don't fit in with the anime kids.
Yeah, so I've talked about this before too on previous episodes, even with like when I'd go play competitive Magic, like openly I'm as nerdy as it gets, and if, especially at work, if someone brings it up, and I'm a barber, so I'm cutting their hair talking about anime, like it just comes out like vomit. I'm just talk about it, but it's not like a gatekeepy thing for me. Like I'm stoked if anyone wants to get into it, no matter what place in life they're at with it. But there's like the people that are like so ingrained, they want to like keep it like, oh, you're not a part of this,
Yeah.
You're one of the popular kids, and
I think, and I mean, this is going to make sense because I want you to tell the story.
Yeah.
But I think it was more so that they weren't expecting your level of storytelling, like your level of the effort you put into like creating the scene for the enjoyment, like you were trying to spice it up because they were just sharing stories, you wanted your story to be entertaining. And I don't think they were used to that. They all just kind of looked at you like, wow, okay, you're cool.
Yeah.
You can tell a story without saying every 5 seconds.
Yeah. Well, and also for like some context, dude, I was so zooted.
Yeah, we were high as fuck.
Yeah, so I don't smoke anymore, but at that time, it was my first time
I forgot
personally
about that.
hitting, it was an oil pen. And it wasn't a sativa, but it was indica. So it was like the body, but I just felt so like loose.
You were loose, bro.
Yeah, walking around.
Let me tell you, I've got PAD.
Oh man, I remember we walked in. I was high-fiving everybody. It was like, "What's up? Good to be here." Anime. Woo!
I was walking behind you like, dude, stop attracting so much. I was anxious as fuck. I was high.
So that was our first like panel together too, where it was like interactive, where you're not just like watching something. What was the panel even?
It was a panel about post-anime depression.
Okay,
we went to that one because we were like, oh, dude, this is for us, like, because we talk about it all the time. Like when you end that show and you're looking for something to fill the void, we were like, fuck, these are our people.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So we're anticipating something entirely different than what took place, but there's these group of people and we're all kind of felt like a classroom setting, we're all in our study groups and like there's someone hosting it and going over, questions. And what's a time you experienced post-anime depression? So everyone kind of got a chance to talk and hoping it would strengthen this community bond between all the fans that are there. So I got up to the mic, and I love being behind the mic.
Once I saw you raise your hand, I immediately started panicking. I saw you raise your hand. I was like, no.
Yeah, so I took it. So I was like talking about Tokyo Ghoul, and at the time, the first season had just completed. So, the Rude A and season 3 trash, but I didn't know what I was like, couldn't wait for more. It was only 12 episodes.
Yeah.
I was talking about, I just had really bad post-anime depression after Tokyo Ghoul, and it's just, when you're going through Tumblr and scrolling through your blog and just reposting and crying, just being like, oh God, why can't there be more? And I don't remember exactly what I said verbatim, but it was something along those lines, and just, it was like crickets. dude. And,
Everybody
like,
was
getting the side eye.
We were
Yeah.
kind of like towards the back of the the room.
Yeah.
And everybody was turned around looking at you, listening to you. Everybody, like, the focus was entirely on us. This group of dudes, like, everybody was like in cosplay and all this
Yeah.
like clothing, like it was a very bright colored room, and we were just like the four, because it was me, you, Walkney, and his girlfriend April at the time.
Was April there?
Yeah, because that
Yeah.
was the four. It was
Okay,
the four of
yeah,
us.
yeah.
And we were all dressed in black,
Yeah.
high as fuck, in the middle of this room,
Yeah.
and everybody was looking at us, and all because I don't remember exactly what you said either.
Yeah.
but I just remember your opener. You just raised your hand. And you're like, "Let me tell you, I've got PAD." I remember your exact
yeah.
cadence of it, and then I
I
blacked
have
out.
PAD.
Yep.
Post anime depression.
And then
keep
you-
my wife's name, like.
And then you told your story, and like for sitting over there, I was like, oh, okay, like he's actually telling like a really good story. He's like, this is entertaining. And after you were done, like you stopped, and it was crickets, silent. Everybody just stared at you, and then the people running the panel were like, okay, so anyways, moving on.
Yeah, like they did. They
all
just
turned around,
disregarded.
and they were so supportive of everybody else. Like, and everybody else's story, everybody was like,
Like,
yes, dude, I
yeah,
feel that
clapped.
too.
Yeah, and we got silence, crickets. But the thing is, I felt as though I contributed.
Yeah.
I felt like I gave what the point of the panel was. I gave to that. We're
Oh, yeah.
supposed to give a entertaining story where everyone was like, "Oh, I feel that. That's funny,"
Yeah.
instead of just being like, "Man, when Naruto ended, that was rough," and everyone's like, "Yeah, woo!" But I'm like
100%.
going on this, tangent, this 10-minute narrative, and everyone's like, anyways.
It wasn't even that long.
Yeah.
Like the thing is
Yeah, like a
like
few
when
minutes,
I saw
yeah.
you raise your hand, I was nervous because I was like, no, fuck, dude, don't draw attention to us. I'm high as shit. But when you were talking, I was like, okay, that was a good story.
Yeah.
Grabbed the attention, and it wasn't too long. You said your piece, and you let it. You stopped.
I didn't
You were-
drag it on.
Yeah, you were
Just-
like, okay,
yeah.
now let somebody else talk. But it was the only reaction like that we had seen after sitting there for the 30 minutes listening to everybody else talk about their stories and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just tapped you. I was like, we gotta fucking
Yeah,
go.
we didn't finish the panel. We just
Yeah,
left.
we
It was
got
so
up
uncomfortable after
Dipped.
that.
We went
like,
and smoked a cigarette with a furry outside and fucking left.
in fursuit, lighting up. Yeah, because it just, I was hoping you go to these conventions, you make some friends out of it, or at least friends for a day where
Yeah.
you talk to them and stuff. And
You meet
it
some
was
new
just-
people. It's the social aspect.
felt like just such a outsider.
Yeah.
Where like, it didn't make sense to me. It defeated the purpose.
Yeah,
of
and this
what
was
that's
still at a
supposed to
time
be.
where like anime wasn't as popular and widely
Yeah.
accepted. So it was very like, what really stung with that was that like, because we know my story already. I've been into anime and manga pretty much my whole life, since I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
And it was never really an accepted thing. I always kind of had to keep it on the burner. It wasn't something I could actively talk about with just anybody. Now I fucking bring it up to everybody. I don't give a shit. But at that point, it was like going to these conventions, because I think that was my first anime convention.
Yeah.
And I was so excited because I was like, finally, I'm going to be in like a space where everybody is interested in the same thing. And to be rejected by those people as well, I felt so fucking disconnected. I was like, my friend group are the only people who will ever like me in this world. That's
Yeah.
how it made me feel. I was
Right.
I was high as shit, so I was overthinking too, but I was so distraught by that interaction. And I was so upset because I was like, you put yourself out there. You told a good story, and we just got nothing. It was
Yeah.
just got pain.
Yeah, it hurt, and it just goes to show, like, and it's funny because I was actually going through the Sabaton website, and they're going over some conduct, and they're like, look, leave all the, elitist, like, moody stuff at home. Pretty much, like, don't be a neckbeard when
Yeah.
you come. Like, everyone's here to have fun. No one's better than anybody. Bring that energy
Yeah.
when you come here, because
good.
you will get kicked out. And I was so stoked to see that, because that's the whole point, is like people that are even just getting into it for the first time don't know much about it. Maybe they're going with a friend that's into anime, but they're like, hey, I'll try this convention out. It's for those people too. You don't have to be a seasoned veteran. Well, you know, you have to know this much about anime to go to these things. It's like, no, it's a time for everybody to share their enjoyment and be comfortable. Like, hey, I don't have to be embarrassed about being this into this stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone here is about it, you know? So it's just, don't be that guy or girl or that in between anything, you know? Just,
Yeah.
it's like, have fun. Just have fun. It's a convention.
I think
you know?
it definitely will be a lot different now because of the more wide acceptance of it. You know, we're going to find a lot of cool people. It's not something that is as niche as it used to be. But just another story. I think you weren't there because you had already been living in California. This was the last anime convention I went to, which I think was the second time I went to Sabaton. But we went to that panel where it was supposed to be like a hentai panel.
I was there.
You were there?
I was
the
there.
AMV guy?
I remember vividly.
Yes, dude.
Vividly. Because we were like, oh, we're over 18. We could go to this
Yeah,
panel.
fuck it. You know, like at that point we were over 18, so we were like, let's go to the adult panel, you know?
Yeah.
And that guy basically just like, it was like a little bit of this adult stuff, and then he just started playing his Naruto AMVs.
Yeah.
And it was like, we were sitting there, I was crying laughing because it was just so fucking funny. I mean, hey, you know, I gotta give it to him. They were good AMVs.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen a Naruto AMV since I was in middle school. And he was just playing them off of his laptop.
It's like, I've seen these same AMVs 1,000 times. I don't need to go to a panel to watch these. But the other part of that panel, which was so bad, is we're all there to kind of look at it. It was the weird hentai panel.
Oh, yeah.
That was the thing. It was weird hentai, so things like shock value and everyone gets a chuckle, you know. But this one guy, he had to be mid-50s, early 60s, like definitely on the older side, you know, grayish white hair, balding, and there was this, for one, there was Attack on Titan hentai artwork, which you could imagine Titan form and normal person. And then there was one of Charizard and Misty. Like, it was pretty stuff you don't want to see.
Yeah.
You wish you could unsee. And this guy is just rocking in the sweatpants something. Either there's a pen he's trying to find down there or something else is going on. But there was these group of girls there because, you know, it's just 18 plus. So there's girls had to be just probably 18. Like, oh,
much
yeah,
like
it's our
us.
birthdays.
I think we were 18.
We were like fresh 18. So this guy was kind of a few seats away from him, and they moved away because they got uncomfortable because he's just, you know, shoulder up, wrestling. Something's going on in there. And he followed them and then sat next to him again and it's just rustling, and then they left. But it's like that guy was probably an exhibitionist, like thinking, this is my chance to be around some young girls, you know?
Yeah.
And that was uncomfortable, man.
That's another good thing about it becoming more like popular and widely accepted, is the fact that like that shit's not going to happen as frequently because there's going to be a lot more regular people there.
Yeah.
Who shit like that, you know, it's not going to be the other guys that are be like, God, I wish I could do that.
Right.
It's going to be a lot of regular people that be like, dog, chill. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
this is a public panel.
Yeah.
We're here to laugh at the stupid, like the funny factors of this thing. Like, I get it, like, but do that shit at home.
It's not an adult movie theater,
Yeah.
homie. Like, get out of here, you know?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. We got like CDs from that panel.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch it? I put it in my
No.
car, so I never watched it either. I always made jokes to people saying that it was probably just that guy's AMVs,
Yeah.
but I would keep it in my car so I could just show people just as like shock value. Be like, yeah, keep this on me, you know, keep that thing on me.
Dude, so I got one of the times I went to AX, there's always a massive line at the Faku booth. So they would have like, you know, clothing and different things, and they sold, you know, eroge and doshinji and hentai and everything. But I got a mystery box, so you didn't know what would come in. It was like a $50 mystery box. And so one was actually just straight JAV, like a DVD. Like, it was so funny. I actually threw it in with my ex-fiance at the time. We're like, yeah, let's see what this is about, you know? And it's just her getting tickled by a feather for like an hour. Like, yeah! And everything's bleeped out. And I'm like, this is so corny. But, man, the level of bondage, you have to be an architect to tie somebody up like that. It was just so intriguing to watch. And then another was like kind of an old... think like a high school DxD, but even older retro anime style hentai. And I was like, whatever. But I showed this to you the other day, but one thing I got in that box was that My Hero, it would be considered like a doshinj, right? But it is disgusting.
Yeah.
And I keep it purely for the shock value. It's the only one I own, actually. But I like should throw it away, but I just always hold on to it because I like to show people, like how disgusting
just like, hey,
it
flip
is.
through this. Like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Check this out.
Just Froppy doing things with their tongue, man, that she should never be doing. You know,
a couple weeks into moving in, you were unpacking. You came into my room and threw it on me, and I just flipped through it, and I was like, "Why the fuck do you have this?"
So yes, I did not pick that out of a haystack, but that was in the mystery box. So I usually keep it. I have the super innocent. It's the How to Draw a Manga book by Mark Crilly, and I put it in the middle. So if someone flips through the book, they see it.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Yeah. I'm like, no, flip through it. Please. I don't want to be the only one, you know?
That shock value definitely is funny.
Yeah.
But there's some fucked up shit there. But yeah, that's why I'm excited. I mean, I haven't even been to a convention in probably like 5 or 6 years.
Wow.
I'm excited. I'm pretty excited to go to Sabaton.
We went to FanFest together, I remember, with Jeff.
I don't count that.
But I was going to ask.
That was a glorified vendor hall.
Yeah, as a reference, since you've been I've never been to a Comic-Con, but you've been to Phoenix Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. I never had a chance because I lived in San Diego, and that was just hard to get into. But what is the anime section like? Is it sizable at Comic-Con? Mm-hmm. Like you would consider it to be? Or does all the hero stuff outshine
the year that Attack on Titan and like Sword Art came out, I went to Phoenix Comic-Con, and the only cosplay I saw was Scout Regiment people and Kirito or Asuna.
Because I always imagine it's mostly like Spider-Mans and Batmans.
No, but the thing is, and it's not called Comic-Con because San Diego Comic-Con has that trademark. So Phoenix is now Phoenix Fan Fusion. It's a pop culture convention.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just comics. It's just pop culture.
Yeah.
So it's video games, anime, comic books, Marvel, DC stuff. It's just all of that shit. D&D stuff is probably there, because that's gaining some traction. I'm sure there's probably like a D&D panel or something where they play it, whatever. But actually, Phoenix Comic-Con is where I met Travis Willingham. He was doing a panel because he's the... wait, is that who I'm thinking of? It may not be who I'm thinking of, Travis. I always thought it was Travis Willingham, but I might just be listening to too much Critical Role lately. But the guy who does the voice for Maze Hughes, and I'm thinking, I'm thinking it may not be the same guy because Travis Willingham's voice is pretty deep. Yeah. And Maze Hughes has a lighter voice, so it may not be the same person. But I saw Maze Hughes' voice actor, and Edward Elric's voice actor was there as well. I heard him say, "Damn it," scream, "Damn it," and I was like, where is he? Where is he? I gotta find him. He was just at a booth somewhere, and somebody asked him if he could scream, "Damn it."
Kind of a side note that no one at home is going to get this, but always reminded me of like Edward Elric, like the voice, Zach, our buddy Zach.
Zach Eastham?
No, like coworker, Pizza Hut Zach.
Oh. I could see it.
Yeah.
When he gets...
We'll get him on sometime. He had his own episode, but yeah.
Yeah, he had his own episode.
We'll have him read some lines just to see if it's true or not,
We'll just, put him in.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, I need you to read these. Yeah, I'm excited, though. I can't wait to go. In 2023, we're going to have to do an updated episode later in the year when we actually get some, more information. Because even Sabaton, it's in September, but there's only 3 cosplay guests announced. and an idol group from Japan that's coming in, which I think I have it pulled up here so we can say the name.
Yeah.
Melon Batake Gogo.
All I know is I'm going to get versed. I'm going to get the light sticks. I'm going to get the get up, the headband. I'm going to get the little swirly glasses, and I'm going to be romping up front.
This group seems pretty cool, though. I mean, it's a legitimate idol group it's idols from outer space, Melon Batake Agogo. But I guess,
much Linkin Park.
Yeah, in 2019 they formed, and they wanted to not just do their shows and tours in Japan. They wanted to go international. So I think it's really fucking cool, and that just shows you like Sabaton is really not just a niche thing set up for people anymore. Like there's going to be a legit idol group there. I think that's sick. I can't wait to see these guys, man.
Yeah. And, they include so many cool activities too, like even for gamers, where I believe it was Sabaton that had that Smash tournament.
Yeah. Sabaton usually.
Yeah, where you kind of, there's like a line to get in, pretty much you leave
most
if you lose.
Most conventions, honestly. Fan Fusion, they had a Smash tournament. One of my coworkers went, and he joined the Smash tournament. He said he lost round 1.
No,
you trash, dude.
We have to bring Forrest.
Yeah.
See if he lasts. I think he would. But, yeah, there's just so much to do, like, I would say definitely, put it in your bucket list. Like the biggest one, this is one, we're not super well versed in and barely even, I can't imagine touching yet until it's a little more accessible, easier to go. But the Tokyo Anime Convention, like the biggest in the world, in the homeland, the heart of it. That's a bucket list, I
mean, shit, I think... What is it, Akihabara?
Yeah.
I think that right there is already bigger than any American anime convention.
Yeah, that's a bucket list. I'd love to go to E3 at least once.
E3 would be sick, dude. I've always wanted to go to E3.
And before they completely go into oblivion and nothingness, I'd love to go to BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Because my cousin always goes as a vendor for... or he used to. He actually doesn't work there anymore, but Jinx Clothing. He would be there as a vendor. He was the art director.
Dude, there was a point
like, up there.
Like when my brother got into high school, there was a point where he didn't wear anything but Jinx Clothing.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, my cousin Darren, he was the art director in one of the branches out in it was based in Poway, but dude, I got a tour of it because my ex at the time wanted to work there as a designer. She ended up not getting the job, but we went in and there's different divisions for apparel, and you saw like, dude, just figures everywhere, artwork. It just looked like the total hub. Like I would just want to hang out there, and it was a workplace where it was just so cool. But
shit, we should get your fucking cousin on.
Yeah, I'll have to hit Darren up. Honestly, he would be a great guest to get on because he's
I wouldn't even talk. I'd just be like, just tell me things.
So he's one of the old heads where he's not an old guy, but he's in his 40s now. He was an older cousin of mine, and when I was a little kid, and he was like in his 20s with his brother, they had a house, they had all these figures like in the box, like nailed to the wall. They had collections, every game console system. They introduced me to Sonic, everything. They were like about it, so it made sense that he nailed a job like that.
Definitely. Yeah, my brother was really like, I don't think I ever bought any shirts off Jinx. I wanted to. I had a cart full of stuff I wanted, but my brother wore, because they had a lot of like Warcraft stuff, and we were really into World of Warcraft and Warcraft just as in general. My brother had like a hunter shirt, that he would wear, and they had that like, it was a Warcraft item, and it said T-shirt, 1 armor, and it had like stats and shit on it. Like he had a lot of that stuff, and then the minimalistic character icons and shit like that. Like my brother wore that for I think his first 2 years of high school, and nothing but that. I just remember if I saw the Jinx logo on something, I knew it was my brother's shirt. Because it's all he fucking wore.
Oh, yeah.
That's sick, though. I'm going to have to tell him that and be like, hey.
Yeah.
By the way.
And we got a tour of the factory where it was a part of the office where they do the design and development, and then you go to the factory. It is massive. And this was just the shipping and distribution portion. It was massive, and they had another area where they source it to get it made. But I mean, they have stuff. It's so big now. Jinx, they had a contract with like Walmart for like a lot of Minecraft tees.
Yeah.
They did Minecraft and like they got big, but yeah, every year they show up. They're at BlizzCon, you know, because I think they are kind of one of the early innovator adopters of like doing Warcraft merch.
This was when my brother and my dad were buying shit off Jinx. It was like 2006, 2007.
It wasn't as accessible then.
Yeah,
it was harder.
Jinx was like the only place you could get like video game merch that was quality.
You had to be in the know,
Yeah.
you know, to have Jinx then. Where now it's a little like chances are if you have a Minecraft tee, it might be from Jinx.
Yeah.
You know. But
yeah, they've definitely gotten big and good on them. You know, they fucking deserved it. I mean, they had sick designs all the way back then that were just like, you know, they had those minimalistic, just like, you know, the like character designs that don't have a face, but it's just like the outline and the color on like pastel and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a sick concept. It was so good.
And what's so cool is, you know, a lot of times when you find like anime tees or gaming tees, they're not licensed, you know, the original creators don't get a cent out of it, and that's fine. I have nothing against it. I own some of that stuff and a lot of fan artwork, you know, anime t-shirts and whatnot, but like what was so cool about them is they're legitimate. Like they're in contact with the company, they're licensed. It goes through so much in development where there's the person that does the initial draft, someone colorizes and finishes it, someone else makes sure it's good for print, someone else like authorizes it, another person, like, you know, my cousin was kind of like directing it, being like, no, scrap it, you know.
And that's
like,
the thing is where you really see that quality is because, yeah, you can buy, you know, plenty of anime shirts, video game shirts and stuff, but it's got like that, it's like they pasted a image onto a shirt, you know?
Right.
And with Jinx, it was a part of the shirt. Like the design was woven. It was, you would feel it and it was nothing.
It was seamless,
it was part of the shirt. And that's the quality that they had all the way back then, you know? Like 15 years ago. They were just on it. Like, hell yeah, dude. That's so cool that your cousin worked for them.
Yeah, and he just it was one I could tell he loved his job.
Yeah.
You know, he loved it because it was a part of his community, you know. Especially, you know, predating us, you know, 10 or so years. Like, when he was into that stuff, it was even more probably, like, you know.
There's a part of me that, because I always wanted to like work for a video game company, but I didn't have the drive or ambition for anything as a fucking kid. But there's a part of me that wishes I was like in my 20s in the 2000s and I did get to work for a company like that, you know, like I would go over to, you know, like my aunt's apartment or something, and it was just the way the apartment was set up and the technology and stuff, like the aesthetic of the 90s and 2000s. I'm not saying I would want to live in those times, but it's just there was a certain appeal to it, you know? It's like, could you imagine working for a video game company and you live in a nice little apartment, you know, you got your plants there and stuff, and you go to the office and you see like the big statue of the video game character and stuff, and you get to work with those people in that scene that's bringing it to the point that it's gotten to today, because now it's so normal. It's, you know, it's, you look at games and stuff. I was just explaining this. Someone said, like, did you see how much Halo Infinite multiplayer failed? And I was like, yeah, well, I mean, I feel like every game at this point is going to fail because there's so many games. It's
such a saturation. You see kind of with these seasons of, remember when we watched that little mini doc on the Elder Scrolls series of games, like dating all the way, like, you know, Battlespire and like the company and what it started out being really small and then massive, then a little smaller again, and then huge, you know? And just being a part of it when it's like you're just hitting the pavement and it's just a few guys like, oh, we need to get this game together, you know?
That's one thing that's just, oh man, I would have loved to be a part of, is just like that small office, you're making a video game. You know, like
sleepless nights, you know, you have your deadline. You're like, we need to get this game out.
And you could still achieve it now, but it's different.
Yeah.
Because back then it was like, you know, there wasn't really those levels of success in those things. And now it's like, you know, you could throw a fucking dead cat and hit a game developer that's failing. You know,
and you know, it's cool to see though that the passion and the love is still there with examples like a lot of indie games, like one that, you know, kind of pulled itself out of the indie title and became more mainstream was Undertale.
Yeah.
From a guy that composed the music, designed the artwork, the storyboard, he did like voices, like he programmed it and coded it, like.
But it's a true. These are true diamonds in the rough now. You know, there is so much saturation of games now because it's so accessible, especially with the internet. Like, if I sat down and dedicated my entire life to it, I could learn how to make a video game. You know, I used to do like some 3D modeling in Unity and Blender and stuff for avatars and VR chat. Don't crucify me. But it's easier now. So you can make a game, you know?
Yeah.
It's possible. But it just would have been nice. It would have been cool to experience the what is it? The start, you know, just everything picking up and taking off and gaining that traction. It would have been a beautiful thing to experience and be able to look back on. Like, I've watched some like interviews with Martin O'Donnell, who made the soundtrack for Halo and stuff.
Yeah.
And just some of the guys who worked on Halo, and you know, I've watched the Bethesda one and some of the Blizzard stuff, as shitty of a company as they are and all that, but
no, yeah.
But just like listening to like the 10 years anniversary of Blizzard being a company, and listening to Chris Metzen just talk about how, you know, he was just working a normal job and he would just draw like orc characters and stuff, and somebody found them and was like, hey, why don't you come work for our company? We're making this game and we would really love your art style for the game.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I don't know, like, you know, I have a job here and stuff. And he went over there, and I mean, look at Warcraft, you know, it's a staple of the RPG community.
Yeah.
As shitty as it is nowadays, you know, it was a titan of its industry. And I think Chris Metzen's art style is really what made me fall in love with the game and the music, you know, the soundtrack of Warcraft 3 and World of Warcraft. It's
all encompassing that created that immersion of why we loved playing those games and achieving that escapism through.
Yeah.
And I think in our generation, we're really the 90s kids are the generation of nostalgia.
Yeah.
We're always chasing that. And I think there will be a renaissance eventually, because things are going to get saturated, and the love for it and the passion's going to die down, and then someone else is going to, you know, say fuck this and like throw a wrench in the system and reinvent it. But, you know, there's part of me that when we get our new place, I just think about getting an old like Memorex, like portable box TV, get some old consoles, and have a section of my office gaming room where I just sit there and play older games, because I want to relive that feeling, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I would love that. We get an old CRT.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I would love that. We could just use it as a decorative piece when we're not using it, and then, you know, if we have people over or something, be like, hey, you guys want to play Sega?
Mm-hmm.
Pull out the CRT, plug the Sega in.
I see what they do with, there's so many of like, and, you know, you'd inform me they're all Raspberry Pis, but like those little, you know, Nintendo, you know, it's the Nintendo Classic, but preloaded games. They have one for PlayStation, but it doesn't feel the same as taking an old console and plugging everything in and popping the game in. It's
red, white, and yellow connection.
Feeling. Yeah.
You get that static sound when you're playing off the screen.
Yeah, I just like it on an old TV and just the feeling it had to it, you know?
I'd be down, hey, maybe we make that like a segmental thing of this podcast, you know? Maybe we could get a CRT and we could, like, just a small one.
Yeah,
you know, nothing,
exactly.
like, not a massive CRT, but get a small CRT.
Yeah, I found one like this size. It was one of the portable ones.
We could just do, like, an old-style video where we put the camera and point it at, you know, like, have one camera on us, one camera at the CRT. And it would be a shitty video, but I think it would be really nostalgic, and I just think it would be a fun thing to do and set up.
Yeah, and even just... You know, there's certain shows that there's this guy on Instagram, and I'll have to plug him if I could think of the name, but he has an old CRTV, and he gets old DVDs and even VHS tapes, and he plays like Samurai Champloo on it and just records it while it's playing, and it has that feeling. There was one, he had Serial Experiments Lane he was playing on it, and like those shows shine in that setting.
Yeah.
You know, we could watch them on our big fancy future TVs, you know. But
hey, don't talk shit about my big fancy future TV.
No, I know.
That's
just saying that
tight.
comically. I love the new stuff, but I also love the old stuff. And the beautiful thing is we get both.
It's a mix of both.
Yeah, we get to have the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
and that's what's so awesome.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want a massive CRT because those motherfuckers are heavy
and they're hot, especially in Phoenix. Woo! It would suck.
We'd be playing for an hour. Be like,
that was the problem.
Turn it off.
When I had that 75-inch theater screen I had, though, it was so Shorty's mom sold it to me for $100, and it was right when the technology was shifting to flat, so it was kind of that in between. It had a box in the back, exhaust, heat vents, but it was kind of flat in the front, and it was like the first. It was the adopter,
the flat screens,
the flat, and it had an HDMI. Right, like this TV was hot probably when it came out because it was right when you could do HDMI, so I could still put newer consoles through it. But damn, did that thing get fucking hot in my room?
Yeah,
it would be an
It was the same thing, and I mean, you may remember, at my mom's house, the big TV we had in the living room, like that had the big box end and stuff. That was the flat screen. Now, you say flat screen and you think the whole TV is flat. But the reason why they were called flat screens is because CRTs were rounded.
Yeah,
they were domed screens. Flat screens were just a flat screen.
Yeah.
It still had everything on the ass end, all those heat exhausts, all that technology and stuff in there. And now a flat screen is, we're trying to, I mean, have you seen the fucking glass screens that are literally, it's just a piece of glass?
Yeah, it's obscene. But yeah, it always holds a special place in my heart because that setting, when I had that dusty sectional I mentioned earlier, I got off the street and I had that big TV. That was the first time I watched Sword Art. The first time I watched Full Metal Brotherhood was on that TV.
Yeah.
And there was like probably 6 months out of the year, I really didn't leave my house. I just so socially anxious. I couldn't get out. Had some issues then, but I just remember just the feeling of bliss and peace, being able, if I did have to leave, and come home and have some rolled tacos in front of me and just watch some anime on that big TV on the couch.
Yeah.
It was heaven.
It's nice. I mean, I watched, was that the same TV? We watched Beyond the Boundary.
Yeah, that's the same setup.
Welcome to the NHK couch. And stuff.
Yeah,
and those,
it was
honestly,
that TV.
dude, those were some of my favorite times in life, were the times where neither one of us had a job. We were both fucking in this place where we didn't want to go anywhere. We didn't want to do anything, and it was nice knowing that, especially in my home situation of not really feeling like I was welcome there, because with my dad's girlfriend and shit, I was like, I'm just gonna go over to go over to your house, and we would just binge a whole fucking anime.
Yeah.
It's one day I was like, I show up at 10 in the morning, I got some beer, I got some cigarettes.
Yeah, go to the balcony, we'd smoke cigarettes, take a intermission. All right, let's go watch some more.
Yeah, watch an entire series, and then the next day it's just all right, what else? You want to watch it again?
Yeah.
It's those were some of my favorite times in life, because it was just there was no concern. It's we had somewhere we could go, and there was comfort. There was
no, we should go out and do something. Let's go to the mall. Let's go to a restaurant. Let's go to a club. We're that's exactly where we wanted to be, and we were there.
Yeah.
It
was nice. I love those. And all those anime are so, I don't know. They hit a certain place with me, when I go back and rewatch them. It's just it's nice. I mean, we could sit here and reminisce all we fucking want, but I'm pretty sure we're over time. Do you want to just grab this beer and
let's do it.
Taper this bitch off?
Yeah.
All right, let's hit it. I'll grab it.
Awesome. So, not necessarily a major pairing or a recommendation, but hey, it's something that we had an opportunity to try out, so we're going to try it out for the first time during this podcast. It looks pretty cool. It was a gift from my good friend Emilio in San Diego at One Stop Liquor. Thanks, Emilio. You're a real G. So, seemed cool because Ryan got me back. I really didn't like Japanese beer for a long time. I grew out of it felt like it had that really salty, dry quality, but I fell back in love with it. Recently, he got you got a Kirin?
Yeah.
We were out at a restaurant. I tried it. I'm like, this is good. And I've described it enough so I don't have to do that. But this is Harlan Brewing, a labor of beer. It's from San Diego. It's just a Japanese lager. That's all it says. Product of the USA, 5%. It's a Pilsner malt. Puffed jasmine rice and toasted rice flakes are the ingredients. It says, embodying the spirit of rolling up your sleeves to get the job done.
God damn.
Keep cold and enjoy fresh. Well, all right. Ooh, that's a good pop. Cheers. Oh, that's really good.
That is good. It's like a sweeter. It's still got that dryness
Yeah.
of a Japanese beer, but it's sweet.
There's a little bit of that jasmine in there.
Yeah.
I see that too.
Yeah, that is really fucking good.
This is like such a easy to drink Japanese beer. I would just describe it as a dressed up Kirin.
Yeah.
Like a Kirin that put on a suit, a tie to go to work, you know?
It's like whereas a Kirin is the thing that you drink when you get home because you don't give a fuck what you're drinking.
It's a daily driver.
This is, that Kirin is if Kirin is the daily driver, this is what you take down to the drift track.
Yeah.
This is fucking good.
Oh, yeah.
I like these.
We need to get more of these.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean they're from San Diego, so they might be a little more niche. Is this a newer thing, do you know?
You know, I feel like Harlan Brewing is just kind of an all-around. They do different styles, so it must be.
I've never seen Heartland Brewing. So
I haven't either. Emilio told me, at least it was new to his store, and he saved these for me when I came out to visit. He's like, "Yo, when do you try these?" So
shouts out Emilio because this is delicious.
He's always the plug, man. I'm so grateful. Always hooking it up. Oh. Yeah, that's exceptional.
Yeah. Especially coming out of San Diego, like just the Japanese style beer, like they did a really, really good job here.
Yeah, I'll be real. Like I was a little skeptical because I was like,
Japanese beer from San Diego.
That's like.
But I mean, coastal town, you know, there is a lot of cultural integration, and I think we'll just start to see more of that as the world exists for longer.
But I just think of like the kind of Amerime, you know, like the American animation, like trying to do the same thing, but it's not quite. But like, yeah, this is, if I drank this in Japan, I'd be like, oh yeah, it was made here.
Yeah,
you know,
if you took San Diego off this, I would believe this was a Japanese made beer.
Wow.
I would believe it was an import. That's it. This is technically domestic.
Yeah, good old USA Japanese style lager.
Let's wrap her up.
All right, so thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys are stoked for the conventions as much as we are. Can't wait to put that content out where we go, have our trips.
Oh yeah, we're gonna vlog it. I don't think we ever mentioned that, but we're gonna vlog.
We're gonna vlog it.
That's why we're gonna go the 3 days and try to get a hotel.
And definitely, just gonna be putting some new content out there for everyone who's been following so far. Thank you so much. You know, we've done our best to stay consistent with this and, you know, make it the best possible. Ryan has been doing his own thing, streaming some video games, so I'm sure you'll hear about that soon. You'll have to tune in for that. I'm going to be doing some videos as well, but we're branching out, and this is still going to be our baby in the podcast, but we're going to be able to bring some new, fresh, exciting things into it. So can't wait.
Just trying to grow a little bit, so we'll have a lot more information as the months go on, but. Yeah, for anybody who actually is out there listening, you know, give it some time. We're going to do some cool things. I really think we're going to do some cool things.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey.
It's going to be sick.
Thanks again. Appreciate it as always, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, whatever time you're listening, and take care. Peace out.